ethnic group, club, organization, company, municipality, individual, or anyone or anything.
He's a surgeon. He's a 100-ton boat captain. He's a lieutenant on Seaside Heights Beach Patrol in New Jersey. He's a member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary. He's Dr. Michael Kachmar. Need answers to your medical questions? We have them. Listen in to hear latest on medical topics related to all that and more.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Michael Kachmar. Welcome to Scrubbing Up with Dr. Michael Kachmar. I am a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon, been in practice for about 30 years. And we've been doing this, we've been on the internet and doing radio for, 7, 8 years now. And this is, we talk about medicine, we talk about politics, and everything else that we could come up with. We have Jeremy with us today.
Yeah.
There's Jeremy.
How you doing?
How's it going, Jeremy? Jeremy's the sidekick.
That's right.
And we're
Your
doing,
old pal, Jeremy.
right, so we're live. We're on all the YouTube and Rumble and everything else. Jeremy, just hit us, see if we're streaming. You got to go.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Right there, hit
So
that.
we're live right here.
No,
see?
but you got to go. You got to. No, keep going over. So go down and hit the. Go all the way down. Go all the way down. So we're streaming. Yeah. Anyway, we're just checking what we're streaming on. Go put that back up, Jeremy. I want to tell the audience again. So we're streaming, just so everybody knows. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Facebook. Again, Twitch. Keep going down, Jeremy.
Twitch, Rumble, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to let everybody know. So anyway, Jeremy and I have been doing this for quite a long time, and today is October the 12th, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
The year of our Lord, 2024. So welcome to the show, and hope everybody's having a good time out there. We're getting into the election season. It's coming up, which is going to be kind of crazy. And we're going to just jump into it. Today, the topic of today is pretty much this immigration stuff, which is crazy. I've never seen anything in my life. And so we're going to look at a couple articles. First article I want to talk about, and Jeremy's going to pull up on our screen. For people who are in on podcast, you got to go to the YouTube. But basically, this is an article that came out of the Center Square. The author here is Bethany Blakely. And this is 25 governors demand answers on how many immigrants flown to the states. So there is 25 governors of 25 states that have had people flown in to their states by the U.S. government. So here's the article here. 25 Republican governors, and that's interesting. Why doesn't the Democratic governors want to know? Were they not flown into the Democratic government?
Because they were the ones flying them around to pad
the election?
red states with blue.
So 25 Republican governors want to know how many illegal foreign nationals, illegal foreign nationals have been flown into their states by a Biden-Harris administration. I want to emphasize Biden-Harris.
Biden-Harris.
Right.
Now, when that all started, Mike, if we all remember, because we talked about it on this show, okay? All the way back when the administration first began, we were talking about how when they opened up all the borders, okay, all these people flooding in and them shipping them out to other states, flying them all out. It was all over the news back then. Now, several years or a handful of years later, we're getting back to it, and that's good. That makes me happy.
Well, we're getting back to it because because what it is it's creating unsafe environment.
Because we got an election coming on too,
right.
And yeah, it's an unsafe environment, but it could affect our environment long term if these people are eligible to vote for the Democrats.
So the article continues on. Those being flown in have arrived through more than a dozen parole programs created by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Alejandro Mayorkas, I'm pronouncing this Mayorkas, excuse me.
Mayorkas.
The governors only inquired about one. The CHNV parole program. So what is this? The CHNV parole program, created. So this is interesting. Created to fast track previously inadmissible citizens. So they weren't allowed in this country, but this was to fast track inadmissible citizens of Cuba, Honduras, Nicaragua, Venezuela moving to this country. According to the latest U.S. Customs and Border Protection data, this is the government, 530,000. Let me repeat that. 530,000 CHNA parolees were released into the country in the past year. In addition to 813,000 foreign nationals proceeding to the country from all over the world through the CBB-1 app. And so attorney generals from multiple states sued to stop them, arguing they are illegal. The U.S. House impeached Mayorkas for them, and other actions argued to create the border crisis. So here's the thing. 1.3 million inadmissible released into the country among nearly 14 million illegal border crossings reported since fiscal 2021, creating number under the administration. This is the greatest number in U.S. history. And I just want to go here.
And who was the border czar?
Yeah, Harris. So the governors want to know arrival times, duration of residency, legal status, and location. The influx and lack of communication has created considerable confusion and alarm among local officials and the general public. In the absence of direction from DHS, law enforcement and municipality leaders have often been left to rely upon news reports and social media posts to determine size and location of incoming migrant populations in order to access what impact they may have on already limited government services, including local public schools. So it goes on here, and this is unprecedented in my experience. The federal government has taken people illegal. These are illegal. This is illegal actions. Mm-hmm. According to this article, this is an illegal action. These people should not be in this country. It's one thing you open up the border and you just look the other way, okay? That's passive. But wait, stop. But here's the thing. This is active.
Right.
Bringing them in on a plane to states. Now, and is it just the blue states? Forget about it. That's another issue. But just to bring them into this country is crazy. And Texas, all these people want to know. Here's the thing. An unknown number of illegal foreign nationals arriving in the states, potentially in need of state and local services, was done without our consent, any advice, notice, or resources, the governors say. Now, these people coming in here, they got insulin-dependent diabetic, they may have, heart disease. We're not saying that they're all criminals, but a lot of them have medical issues or, mental, schizophrenia, whatever, the normal population of people. Well, you cannot dump millions and millions of people into our into our neighborhoods and think that the hospitals are going to handle it. The hospital ERs in New Jersey now are friggin' jammed. Yeah. They can't handle the volume.
Because it's not like they're flying them in and they have a destination for them in homes and all of this jazz. And as soon as they get into our country, the one thing they want to do, of course, is rush our hospitals because they got nothing over there.
Well, you could go back to me. They have to. I don't know. Here's the thing. A lot of them, they do say they have places for these people to live. The other thing, too, is we have a statistic that we're going to come up. Over 300,000 children are missing. They came in with, whoever they were, guardians, to get them in. Because it was a kind of thing where if you brought a child in, you get into this country.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though. Like, so how many of these children are being trafficked across our borders because having a child with you gives you a free pass? That is worrying. Don't you find that problematic?
Yeah, it's real problematic.
Yeah.
It's real problematic. So so now I just want to stay on this with Mayorkas because this guy is a real beauty. Yeah. So now let's just stop. Don't go anywhere yet. So now we're talking about they're busting these people. They're flying them in, and the governors want to know. They didn't even have the courtesy to let the governors know where they are. They didn't even ask the governors. They're just bringing these people in, which is crazy. So that's number one. Now, I'm going to go here. We just had these big hurricanes hit, right? And Florida is kind of on the ball, but even Florida, they need FEMA funding. And Carolinas, Georgia. So let's go right here to as they say, the video. This is the Washington Examiner. This is 6 days ago. This is a great article I want to talk about here. So here we are again. So more than 200 people had been confirmed dead as a result of Hurricane Helene. Now let me see when this article was done. This was 6 days ago. So
X out of that thing on the bottom.
Reject, accept.
See
Here.
where my
Yeah.
there you go.
So here we go. And the total expected to rise. Amid all of this, Homeland Security Secretary I can't pronounce his name. Mayorkas, excuse me. The architect of the migrant invasion.
Alejandro Mayorkas.
Thank you. Warns, this is him now, warns that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA, is running out of money to aid hurricane victims. Meanwhile, thanks to the migrant crisis, his catch and release policies created, FEMA has spent over $1 billion feeding, housing, transporting illegal immigrants across the United States in just the past 2 years. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, and this stupid American public wants to vote for Harris. They want more of this. Is this what you want? I can't believe, I think people sitting up there and saying, let's see how stupid the American people are. Let's see how much we could shove down their throats. So now, and this guy's got the balls, amazing. So before he was elected, President Joe Biden said of migrants waiting to enter the U.S. illegally, we could afford to take in a heartbeat another 2 million. Thanks to Biden. So this is what he was told. We could take in all of these people. You know what? You could take them in maybe over a 5-year period and vetted, not flying them in. Unfortunately, the communities across the United States, the ability of this country to take in millions of illegal immigrants has not been as smooth as Biden predicted. Cities, many of them controlled by Democrats, have been begging the federal government for assistance in housing, clothing, feeding, education. I mean, they all knew this was going to happen, Jeremy. This article goes on and on and on. But it's actually, so here, click to me more from the story. But the U.S. can't take in every immigrant around the world that wants to come here. The resources that we provide are finite. Local communities have budgets and must make hard choices with how to spend their tax dollar money. So, do they spend their money on education and providing health care for U.S. citizens or illegal immigrants? These are the choices, Jeremy. Federal government ultimately faces the same choices. Does FEMA allocate money to rescue U.S. citizens from floods and help them rebuild their homes? Or does the FEMA spend that money helping to house, feed, and transport illegal immigrants? The Biden administration has made it clear where their priorities lie. Where does it lie? Taking care of the immigrants.
Taking care of immigrants.
So you know what?
Yeah, but see, now here's
they're going to vote. They're going to vote for. They're going to vote for her.
You just started calling them immigrants.
The illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing.
What are they?
Like, if the administration is breaking the law,
right?
What do we call these people? Because they're still illegal.
No, what do you call them? They're here.
Allowed illegal?
Yeah. Well, you could use the word
provisionally illegal.
You could say resident. You could use the word resident. Okay, but they're not citizens. So you could say, everybody says non.
I don't even like resident.
They say not. Nowadays people say non-white. I tell you what, they're non-citizens.
Non-citizens.
Okay, they're non-citizens.
So they should be non-voters.
Yes, and the law is that they can't vote. But most states, a lot of these states, you don't have to show ID. I got to go to the store and buy. I got to go to make a deposit in the bank. I have to show ID. Yeah. Not only I have to show 2 IDs and then have them check my phone. That's to make a deposit or take money out. But I need to show that level of security. The illegal immigrants to vote, they don't have. So let's go. Let's keep on going because I know we want to get a good show here.
Sure, man.
So this is again back to the video. This is another one. I just want to talk about this immigration. What does it really mean? Oh, Mike, you're not the Kachmar. You're overblowing it. Here you go. This is from Parental Herald. This was 23 hours ago. So I don't know if this was published. So authorities released illegal migrant accused of raping a child despite receiving federal request to detain him. So let's go to the webpage here. Let's see who wrote this. So this is here. So this was by Danielle O.N.G., Parent Herald. And so this is authorities released illegal migrant accused of raping a child despite receiving federal request to detain him. Authorities in Massachusetts allegedly released an illegal migrant charged with raping a local child from custody even after they received a federal request to keep the suspect detained. Police initially arrested this guy, Francisco Hernandez Roes, a 30-year-old immigrant from Guatemala, on June 14th after he was accused of raping a minor in Massachusetts. He pleaded not guilty to aggravated rape of a child with force and rape of a child by force. 2 weeks into his arrest, officers from the ICE enforcement and removal operation said it filed an immigration detainer with Middlesex Superior Court to keep the immigrant detained and hand over custody to them. However, the court allegedly ignored the federal request, and released Hernandez Reyes after he posted a bail of $10,000. Where the fuck did he get $10,000? Or maybe they just have to put it up. They don't have to put any money. Yeah. So court released immigrant.
He's skipping that bail. I know that.
Where is he now? You know.
Yeah.
So here's another one: 6-year-old child dead after being beat with baseball bat. Stuff. That's another. So you know, here this goes on. This guy had other charges. Here's it. His previous charges prior to a recent rape incident. Hernandez Rojas had already been charged with breaching the peace in Bridgeport, Connecticut in 2011. He was sentenced 6 months in prison. It could go on and on and on. This guy was a bad hombre. So, you know, you could go back to me. So there is another issue. There's another issue of a problem, right? People say, "Oh, you know, you're overblowing it." Are we overblowing it, Jeremy?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think we've been looking at this closely with clear eyes enough.
Okay, go back to. I want to show this. This is the one we had last week. I want to go back to this one. This was done October 7th. This is so on the video here. I have it posted. Non-detained, non-citizen convicted criminals. Okay, so let's just pack this in.
Oh yeah.
So now this is statistic from federal government. Okay.
Convicted of homicide.
This is non-detained. Mm-hmm. That means they're loose in the United States. Okay. Non-citizens. Okay.
So this is what we call them.
Convicted criminals. But these were definitely convicted in other countries. These had records of conviction and maybe been in jail.
Convicted of homicide? How many?
They know of 13,099.
Now, convicted of sexual assault?
No, well, that's convicted of homicide.
Yeah.
They were released from the jails, whatever they came. They were convicted of homicide. They come to the United States. Now, another 15,811 convicted of sexual assault and released into this country. So that's a total of 425,000 because of people who have criminal histories. So you look at it, that's about 30,000 are heavy-duty crimes. The rest are low-key. This is from Patrick Leaner, ICE Deputy Director.
And this is our current vice president, and she's running for the presidency. She was the border czar. Now, she thinks it's okay to have these people in our country to harm us in these ways. So she wants 13,099 homicides and 15,811 sexual assaults. She doesn't give a shit.
Let me play this just a little bit here, Jeremy. We're going to just hit this up here. Let's see if they got the volume.
It makes her cackle.
Well, a disturbing development on the border crisis. Wait until you hear this. The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
And released.
The letter here tells the tale. Hello,
like you caught a big mouth carp
they are here
or trout, and you're letting it loose.
This is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Malugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now.
This
where
guy's
Vice
awesome.
President Kamala
Just
Harris
listen to a little bit and then we'll
visit
get rid of
this
this.
afternoon. Bill, the details of this news, what do you have?
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. Yeah. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault.
Cut that off. That's enough.
Who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket.
Unbelievable. So let's just unpack that real quick. All right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
So these are people who came to this country illegally. All right, that's number one. Yeah. And then our government, instead of turning them away, facilitated them. Maybe some of these people were put on a plane and sent to Texas or wherever. This is insanity. Well, I can't. This is, and here, and you got this. This is what Harris and Biden wanted, and that's just them. There's a lot of people behind them. There's people who want open borders, Jeremy. AOC, Bernie Sanders. They don't think there should be any borders whatsoever. Yeah. These people are crazy communists, and I try to tell the normal people out there, regular people. They say, "Oh, Mike, what's the big deal?" No, the big deal is you can't have so many criminals. They need to be vetted. My grandfather came over here on the boat from Russia. Yeah. All right. He was vetted. He was healthy. And he had a job waiting for him. He worked his ass off. You understand what I'm saying?
Wait, my grandfather, my grandmother, and my father as a child came into this country and they went through Ellis Island, okay? They are Americans. My grandparents were. My father currently is an American, But what I have a problem with is why aren't these liberal lefties that are on the...
I like that, liberal lefties. Now you sound like the British.
Yeah. Well, all these liberal lefties that are on the television telling you it's okay, I don't know what the big deal is. They have to be confronted with these numbers and then ask the obvious question. What do you think of that? And
they don't want to say that.
What are you going to do about that?
They don't want to say that.
Or, we got these numbers somehow. So
yeah. So let's
but I think a lot of also with what Mike is talking about today on our show is we have to also think about our listeners or just regular people sitting at home watching the news. If they're Democrats, hey, that's fine. But watch both sides. Learn about this stuff. Don't just swallow down what one side tells you. Look at them both and then yourself decide. Is this really going on in my country? And what should we feel about this?
Jeremy, if she gets elected, there is going to be no. It's going to continue on. There'll be another 5 million.
That impending doom feeling you felt.
They will not close.
When we were worrying if Biden was going to be put into office. Right. That's what we're feeling now.
I tell you what'll happen, and this is my prediction. Because there's a equilibrium that's going to happen. Yeah. The country will, maybe another 20 million will come in. Yeah. You'll get to the point where this country gets so bogged down that the immigrants won't come here anymore because it'll be so shitty.
Yeah, but
because we'll run out of money. They won't get medical care. But we're all going to pay the price because you're not going to select it out. You go to you're not going to get care. It's going to be crazy.
This country,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. This country is already bloated by illegal.
Right. And then I'm telling you, when the shit hits the fan, and there's not enough food, and there's not enough electricity and water, these people are going to be nasty. Here's the thing too. It's interesting too about the Second Amendment. I'm all for the Second Amendment. But all these people, I don't know. Are they? They could buy guns. Here's the other thing too. With this, you got a lot of these people who are criminals. How many there? Criminals are one thing. A guy who rapes a girl. Disgusting piece of shit, or homicide. But that's one type of criminal. But you got real bad actors. They're insurgents. These are the guys. Like Hamas, Hezbollah. These guys are trained in different countries.
Yeah, so we're welcoming in sleeper cells, God knows what.
I mean, these guys are, they'll 10 of them could take over. You know, these are bad hombres.
Have we forgotten?
And they're in this country.
Have we forgotten 9/11?
Yeah, and
have we forgotten that? Because now we're inviting them into our country. We're welcoming them into our country. And it seems like the lessons that we were supposed to have learned from 9/11 have not been learned.
I'm going to give you a prediction. This is my prediction. In what will happen, we have two hot wars going on, and they're totally different.
Yeah.
Israeli war is based in a lot of different things, but also heavy duty religion, religious shades and
hate. I mean, it is a hateful conflict.
Right. But it's not going to. But I can tell you right now,
driven by it.
Yeah. So when I want to make this point because this is important with talking about who you vote for. Not first of all, the border is going to be wide open. And you're going to have millions more come in, and it's going to kill this country. It's going to be very inconvenienced, more than inconvenienced for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to have loss of, the schools are going to be inundated, the hospitals, which is happening right now. But let me make a point. During the debate between Trump and Kamala Harris, she said that she's going to push for the two-state ceasefire with Israel, which ain't going to happen, and a two-state resolution. That's a
big waste of
right. No, but my point is though. She's gonna if she's gonna do that, she's gonna force Israel, and they're not gonna go for it. So now there's a conflict right at the bat. The President of the United States, basically, from I don't know how much she's gonna support Israel, but that's contentious. Trump's gonna get in there, and I think he's gonna support Israel, and they're gonna have to bring Iran to heel. But just now, Iran just signed some kind of contract or compact with Russia. So now you got Russia back in Iran. But you know what? Russia's smart. Not smart, but, because now the United States, we have another war, and that's with Russia. So now Russia is smart. They're gonna hook up with China. Iran. Forget about China. Don't worry about China right now. Just talk about, because it gets complicated. Yeah. Think about it right now. If you have Russia, now, because Russia's in a fight with us. She also said in debate, she's going to do whatever it takes, quote unquote, whatever it takes to support Ukraine. That means to me, I've been around a long time. I'm in the Vietnam War. My father and uncles fought in Korea and Second World War. I didn't serve obviously, but I got firsthand information how nasty
you got
it is.
blood in that,
So anyway. That means if you're going to support Ukraine, right, that means American Air Force. You need Air Force, American artillery, and American troops. So, that could be the draft. We could be fighting over there. Now, I don't want that. I don't think it's, in our best interest.
Wars are great for incoming new presidents.
Right. So here's what's going to happen, though. This is my prediction. I'm building up to my prediction.
Okay.
Harris gets in. Sure. Now, if Trump gets in, he's going to negotiate a peace. It's going to be
eliminate everything. Yeah.
Right. And people say, "Oh, Mike, you're crazy. You're naive if you think Trump could fix it." I said, "You know what?
He fixed it before.
How about this? Why don't we give it a chance? What's the big deal? What's the big? In other words, because Harris is not. She's going to push the war.
Statistics are statistics.
Now, so
we've seen this man do it before.
Right.
He will do it again. You cannot fault his statistics on what he did whilst in office.
So here's my prediction. What's going to happen is this. She's going to get in. She's going to get in if she gets in. I think Trump's going to win with a landslide, by the way. But if she did,
really? Okay, that's good to know.
No.
Yeah.
It's going to be. Listen,
because we all worry about if she gets in.
No. But here's the thing. If she did, what will happen is you'll have a terrorist attack in this country. We'll probably make 9/11 look like a dress rehearsal. It'll be multiple places, hundreds of people getting killed. And what they'll do, if they're sharp and what they've done in the past, they'll blame Russia for it. Mm-hmm. They'll blame Russia, and then everybody's grandmother will be there. Let's kill them, bomb them, and you'll persuade the American public to go that way. And I'm gonna make a point. You say, "Oh, Mike, we talking about." Think about this. And I had an argument and discussion with this. January 6th. Everybody's talking about January 6th in the debate. That was a big thing. January 6th. I tell you what.
They made that.
Right, but listen. Yeah, what didn't?
Problem to talk about.
What did not happen? Not what happened. What did not happen in January 6th?
Yeah.
What did not happen? Do you know what did not happen?
Yeah.
What did not happen?
Trump did not tell people to go and
Beyond that, bigger picture.
I think that's the biggest.
No, I tell you what did not happen. What was going to be planned for January 6th, after Trump's speech, the Congress was going to present, each state was going to present the argument of whether or not they thought the election was appropriate. 18 states, remember this, Jeremy, there was 18 states that filed a lawsuit when Trump lost. And the Supreme Court pushed it back, said there was no standing. But 18 states disagreed with the outcome of the election. That's not me saying that. That's not conspiracy. That's reality. That's truth. Now, what would have happened that day, follow what I'm saying about conspiracy, what would have happened that day is Ted Cruz and all those guys were ready to show, and Texas was pushing it, that their rights were violated, that this, because of the money and the collusion and these mail-in ballots, whatever, was bullshit. Yeah. But so that didn't happen. Why? Because you had this huge riot. Now, Congress just finished reports come out. They just came out with reports saying that there was 200 FBI agents dressed in Trump outfits there inciting the crowd. There was people inside. So now, was this really a setup? They let him in. It was a setup. So what didn't happen? Now, what did happen? What didn't happen is the buried lead here, the buried story. What didn't happen was that we didn't adjudicate that election. It still hasn't. Okay. Now go back to this. You could watch Mission Impossible, the old series. The CIA has been doing this for years. They're great. They manipulate things. I mean, if you and I we would do the same thing. I'm like, listen, they're going to, find out that this election was kind of shitty. Let's put a bunch of people in there. Get these guys.
You sound like an election doubter, Mike.
No. I'm not election. I'll tell you what. I think the CIA is there's people way smarter than me. Way smarter than me. I'm not that smart, but I could see. I know. Listen, when
we understand. Listen,
when I see a pile of shit, when I
Yeah.
see shit laying on the ground, it smells like shit. I know. A zebra, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not a brick of gold.
And what I'm afraid of, if she does get in, they're going to manipulate this country to where let's go, let's fight with Ukraine. And that's another. Now maybe they're smart enough to keep that not turning into World War III. There's a great movie. It's called Good Shepherd, and there's a scene where Matt Damon is a CIA agent. He actually invented CIA. He originated. And there's the mafia guy. I forget who it was. Joe Pesci saying, what do you guys do? You got to start wars. He goes, no, we keep the wars small. And it's interesting. So maybe maybe there's some truth to that.
That's what I'm saying. An incoming president with a war or anything like that. I mean, they're always going to try to make themselves look heroic. But see, that's the difference between them and someone like Donald Trump, who he doesn't need to act special or do something he'll go in, he'll fix the crap, even with people telling him he's garbage, he doesn't belong there, but he will still take care of our country the way it needs to be taken care of.
And what I'm saying, but my point, Jane, what I'm getting at is that Harris is just a figurehead. She's not. You got to remember something with her.
She is frightening though, and I'll tell you why.
Well, she has people around.
I'll tell you
because
why.
she's a yes person.
I saw a video the other day that really disturbed me. It was Kamala Harris like a couple of years ago saying all this stuff that she believed in. All right. No fracking, no this, no that.
That's domestic policy, yeah.
All right. But then they showed you her now that she's running. She flip-flopped everything.
Yeah.
So what do you think she's going to do when she's in the office herself? She's going to flip-flop back.
Well, what she's going to do.
That's what these people do. She's on sale now. So she's changed all of her goals and everything so she can feed you some honey.
Right.
Okay?
What she'll do.
But you're going to get burnt.
Right. What she'll do is when she gets in, the hard left is going to steer her. But there's also on the right too, Jeremy. It's interesting in this country because you have people like Lindsey Graham and a lot of Republicans want to push this war. I was listening to Bill O'Reilly, who I watch all the time, and he feels that we got to continue to push the war so we can negotiate with Putin somewhere down the road. I'm like, well, when are we going to do that? You know, how many more men? 300, 400,000 men have died, Russians and Ukrainians. Are you okay with that? That's our money. They're dead. Their arms are blown off. Their guts are hacked. You understand?
What's been happening lately? I don't even know what's going on over there. I don't think most of us know what's going on over there. Is it even going on?
No, it's going on. It's going on. It's going.
So why wouldn't that be something that I would see? I saw it to start with.
No, they don't want to show it.
It was everywhere to start with.
No, they don't want to show it. And the other thing, it's interesting about that. I had talked to one of my friends, and he says, "Oh, Mike, I hear Ukraine's, kicking ass, And I said, really? I said, you know what? Go back to the Vietnam War, and when Johnson was in there, it was the same shit. We're kicking ass. And you know what? Johnson was putting pin in the metal on Westmoreland, who was the general in charge. And you know what? Like a couple months after that, you had the Tet Offensive. We got hit on every base, every part of Vietnam. And then it came out, well, we weren't winning. And you know how that turned out. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Now, same thing with Afghanistan. We left with our tail between our legs. All those, listen, I have, with the people who fought there, these guys I couldn't even lick their boots. These special forces guys. I mean, these guys are unbelievable.
Oh, Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Yeah. My father-in-law,
Korea.
My father-in-law has more
medals. But
Afghanistan, Purple Hearts,
right.
out the wazoo.
Right.
I mean, he was.
But yeah, and so my point is that you talk to those guys. There's one podcast that I watch. It's called the Sean Ryan Show, and he has all these special forces. These guys are saying, man, this is a no-win situation. We've got to get out of there.
What are they saying when they see this country and they think about what they fought for?
Well, they're pissed right now because
there's got to be a deep disappointment.
What they're saying is, here's what they're saying is the government's bloated, it's incompetent. Yeah. It can't get out of its own way. Whether or not there's a conspiracy or not, there's you could watch. I talk about movies because you could watch the ones called 3 Days of the Condor. It's actually in the CIA where a rogue CIA agent goes off. Who knows what's going on? There's secret. There's the CIA inside the CIA. And the equipment we have. My point is that from my little world, our little world, what we see is we got how much money can we do we have jobs? Can we make money? Can we go on vacation? Can we afford a house? Yeah. And I don't want my children and grandchildren getting killed in a war. Do we really need wars anymore? Can't we, what does it say? Can't we just get along, And then I don't want my kids and grandkids dying of a drug overdose, even though they experiment at 15 and the pill kills them. I don't want an illegal alien raping or killing. You know what I'm saying, Jeremy? It's not fair too. People work their ass off. They go to school, they're citizens, and then they got some, they have these illegals that come in here and get everything for free. Yeah. I mean, how many people waited in line? What about everybody who waited in line? So if you ask me what the soldiers, listen, they would do it again in a heartbeat.
You mean the people that were going to come in
legally? Legally, right? The people who
the
are
right way.
The people who are here now who came in legally, and went through all of that, that's a slap in their face. Just
they are now. But they are now sovereign citizens. Right.
Well, and then here's the other thing. You talk about how about this one? Like student loans. Right? What you what is that? Oh, you have. Sorry about that. You have again the same kind of thing. You're eroding trust in the American citizen. Why people have these loans and you're gonna take my taxpayer money to give to somebody else. Yeah. I mean so it goes on. It goes around and around. So anyway, I think we want to end this whole thing at this: the illegal immigration is out of control. Yeah. You should not vote for her just on that basis because, two, what they did is reprehensible. And talk about from military, what that Afghanistan is an embarrassment. No, all those special forces guys who fought there and in Vietnam, they did a great job. And at the time, they believed in the American dream. It's just that the politicians, again, get involved.
Yeah, but those same guys that went to Vietnam were never treated the way they should be.
No, they were spit on.
They were spit on. Yeah, my father-in-law came back to the country When he got off the plane, there were protesters who spat in his face.
Listen, in this country, and then, you talk about that. We don't even have enough people. The woke. I was just watching a podcast, Sean Ryan, about this guy, Captain Gary. He ran the SEALs training, and some kid died, and they bounced him out of there, and they're trying to go after impugn his character, which is bullshit. This guy, again, I couldn't shine his shoes. I mean, this guy, and these guys are like that guy who ran Blackwater, Eric Prince. I mean, these guys are just, they're in a different level, and thank God we have them. Thank God we have them.
Yeah.
But. They're trying to destroy.
We're losing these guys with every year that passes.
Because
these
woke
were
government,
real men.
But this is what this government's going to do. So what's the subtlety? When she gets in and somebody her ilk, they're going to continue to degrade this country. And I don't understand why they're doing it, but they're doing it. Maybe it's incompetence. I don't think she is has the intellect or the stamina to
she
be.
She doesn't do the work.
But I don't want to focus on her.
She hopes for her speech writers to do all the work.
Right.
I don't want to hear a speech that somebody else wrote. I want to hear this come from her mouth.
But just understand, Jeremy, if you didn't have her, you'd have some other individual there, because I really don't believe she's the one who is running the show. And I tell you the other thing too is, which is giving me a lot of hope, is that I see Elon Musk backing up Trump. I tell you who is amazing. And I read his book, and after I read Robert Kennedy Jr., I thought he was kind of a quackpot, like a lot of people, because you read the news media, and I really didn't get in depth into it. And a friend of mine got me the book for Christmas, last Christmas. I read it. I was like, holy shit, this guy is sharp. Yeah. And the stuff he was putting out. And now I look at his interviews, that guy is amazing. And I would vote for Trump just to get Robert Kennedy Jr. in the government. Also, Elon Musk. He's that guy is going to save this country. What he did with Fox, what he did with X, free speech, unbelievable. All right, let's go.
We got about 7 minutes.
Okay. Let's just go real quick. Let's go back to this. We're going to change to it. This is a really unbelievable article here. And this is my pet peeve here. So this is an article. Again, let's go to the webpage here. This was done. This came out the 9th. Today's the 12th. So more than this is a
couple days ago.
Yeah. Danielle ONG Parent Herald. It's a news publication. More than 5,700 children in the United States had trans surgery between 2019 and 2023. 5,700. That's surgery. That's removing their sex organs. That's taking their breasts off. You understand?
Yeah.
And you say, oh, that's not the. I'm telling you what. In addition, here, just go around here. Trans surgery procedure in children. In addition, 8,579 minor patients under 18 were put on puberty blockers or hormone replacement therapy. Okay. In total, the cost of gender affirming care for nearly 14,000 patients amounted to about $1.119 million. So I mean,
wait, go back up again.
Oh.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. 4,160 minors underwent breast removal procedures or mastectomies, while 660 had phalloplasty,
which is reconstruct the male organ into transgender men.
Which is yeah. I mean, 4,160 minors,
right?
Underaged children,
right. So here's the thing, Jeremy,
are getting their breasts cut off.
Right. I want to know. I asked you this question: who consents to the procedure, the parents or the child? So two things here, real quick. No,
you should.
No. First of all,
that's what
child should not consent. They're child. This is bullshit.
That's
hard stop. Fuck and no. That's it.
That's what I like to hear.
Now, number two is, I think that after 18, you could have the procedure. There are people. There is a percentage of people in this country that you want to say have gender dysphoria, and they get the surgery and they do very well. But that's a small percentage, and you got. I think a lot of these kids are really go back to me. A lot of these kids are turning out to be really gay, not knowing it, and then when they turn 18, 19, 20,
Yeah.
they regret having this done. You got to understand something. This surgery is permanent. These kids are now have to be on medication for the rest of their lives. The breast drain, the surgery is not 100%.
And with those puberty blockers and all that, their legs don't form correctly. Their body doesn't form the way it should, the way nature had intended it to.
Right. So let's go, because we, you want back. So go back to the video, like remember.
Let's go to the video tank.
So here you go. So now on this, Ohio bans gender-affirming care, transgender and participation in sports among governor's veto of HB 68. So let's hear. Ohio bans gender-affirming care for minors and puts restrictions on the participation of gender girls and women in sports teams. So that gender girl will be a man playing women's sports. And look at it. Look at the Senate has voted 23-9 to override the GOP governor's veto against the House bill. So during the press conference, DeWitt justified his veto by stating that signing HB would imply that the state knows better than parents, which is the best. So the Senate. So he had to veto the bill. These idiots passed this shit. So Ohio bans care for gender-affirming minors and puts restrictions on participation of transgender girls and women in sport teams, prompting the families of transgender children to navigate into difficult care options. So the Republican-controlled Senate, let me just hear, is a mostly party line vote, overrode Mike DeVito, enacting a law that bans hormone therapies, gender. So it was the Republican Senate that did it, not the governor. And it goes on and on. You guys could look this up, but here's the thing. And I don't. It doesn't matter what governor and the Senate and who does it. There's a battle in this country. I wanted to bring this up. There's a battle in this country. Go back to me. Yeah. There's a battle in this country about gender-affirming treatment, okay? Yeah. Whether or not it's a mental issue, whether or not it's really real, I can tell you right now, there's been people having gender surgery for 50 years that I know of. There was a doctor in Colorado who used to do it. There's other countries that do it, Iran, Iraq. Europeans have been doing it for years. They're backing off now because when they did it in the young kids, it turned out to be a horror show. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this. I take the middle of the road here. No child should have gender-affirming treatment. And I should say no treatment. They could have psychological treatment. They could see a counselor, a counselor.
Until you're 21.
Right, until you're 20, that's probably a good idea, 18, 21. And then if you're still serious and you still feel that way, then have the surgery. And I'm all for the government paying for it.
Oh yeah.
At that point.
Wait for your brain to fully develop, and then you can make these choices.
Right. And here's another compromise while we're at it. Like in state of New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, if you are 12 years old, 8 months pregnant, 12 years old, healthy, pregnant, fetus is healthy, you're healthy, 12 years old, 8 months pregnant, you could get an abortion at one of the many late-term abortion clinics in New Jersey without parent consent, without parental consent. Parents don't even have to know about it. They won't even tell. And the state of New Jersey will probably pay for it. And the late-term abortion clinics in New Jersey do not have to report how many abortions they do. So we don't even know how many are done. Mm. So I'm not okay with that. And are you? How about, again, a compromise? How about we have abortion until, 15 weeks, 20 weeks? After that, sorry, Charlie. And you know what? Unless you're sick or somebody's dying, but if you're healthy, a 6, 7 month, 8 month old baby, girl who all of a sudden decides now, that's a person. 22 weeks, babies have been kept alive, 22 weeks. So.
If there's a heartbeat, it's a person.
And listen, my point is that this gender stuff is ripping this country apart. And you got now big business involved in this. And anyway, I just want to make a point.
I get tired about it at all. I don't know why some people's first reaction is to kill it. Why not give it out?
It's inconvenient.
It's
inconvenient.
Yeah, adoption. Put it up for adoption.
Well, we should push more. That's why. Well, hey, you vote for Trump and J.D. Vance. If they're going to push, they're not going to get rid of abortion. That's bullshit. No. Every state could do what they want.
But people should need.
But here's the thing. How about this? How about making it if a girl's 12 years old and she decides she's going to have the baby, and then 8 months later, I don't want to have it. I don't want to have it. Whatever. She's losing her mind. then we should go in there with the government, give her support, put her up in a hotel, a house, give the parents money, take that baby for adoption. There's 1 million people who adopt that baby. 1 million. You know, I mean, you know,
people who can't have babies for themselves.
Right.
There are wonderful homosexual couples that would die to have a baby together.
As long as we don't give them to the Irish.
The Irish. No,
we don't give them. But you know, and you know, like me, I mean,
we have to have some rules. let's not go fucking nuts.
No. Hey, listen, talking about Irish, a guy just got locked up for bringing in Irish gypsies, I think, into the United States. Really? Travelers, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I got to read the article. It's pretty funny, and they're called travelers.
Yeah.
They're like they steal. Anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. Listen, Jeremy, tell everybody how to get a hold of us.
Okay, for those of you listening to this wonderful show we call Scrubbing Up, you can. Yeah, let me fix that. You can find us on JerseyShoreFootAndLegCenter.com. That's a great way to find out about Dr. Kachmar and all the wonderful things he does. He's the master of the lower extremities, so I really think you should give him a ring, even if you see like strange wounds or anything. His wound care is top notch. 732-269-1133. 269. That's a phone call here, John. We got another phone. But if you want to get a hold of me in my office, 732-269-1133. If you want to get a hold of us, you could give drkachmar@icloud.com or go to Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center. That's our webpage for our medical practice. Even if you're out of the state or different parts of the world, you could always call us on a show here. We could give you advice. I try not to do too much advice over the phone. Over the internet. But anyway, listen. I hope you enjoyed the show. You could catch us next week, and also on podcast too. You can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's right.
We're going to increase our range.
We're right now. We're almost everywhere. We are going to increase our range.
TikTok, we're going on TikTok.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing some changes to improve our show, to improve how we can bring them out to you guys.
Right.
So stay excited.
Jeremy's going to start wearing a little bit more revealing clothes. We're going to we're going to get Jeremy's
something sheer
or I was
thinking sheer, but not too sheer. I'm not a whore.
Jeremy, we're thinking about replacing you with some one of the Fox News
cardboard cutout.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, man. Yeah. Everybody, listen. Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Everybody. Thank you.